like to call the October 16th, 2023 St. John Board of Safety meeting to order. Let us stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'll call the roll. Randy Palmetier's not here. Ronald Scott Sweats.
Here.
Brian Daniels not here. Ray Paradiso.
Here.
Pat Moran is here. Steve Flores is absent. Chief Leduc.
Here.
Michael Schilling's absent. Adam Deckard, our Safety Board Attorney.
Here.
And Joe Wizawati, Town Manager.
Present.
Okay, we have a quorum. First item of business will be the approval for the regular meeting of September 18th. Like a motion for approval on that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion made by Ray Paradiso and second by Scott Sweats. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Monthly reports, we don't have anybody from the police department, so Chief Leduc, you're up.
Our monthly reports for September EMS. So we had a total of 131 patient contacts. Of those 131, 65 were ALS 1 transports, 2 were ALS 2, 22 were BLS. Out of those, 59 were residents, 30 were non-residents. We still, this month, we did 53 patients to Dyer, 19 to Crown Point, and 16 to Munster Community, 1 to Franciscan Health Munster. Total amount generated, $101,970.60. Total monies received, $58,851.36. In regards to fire calls, we had a total of 191. Of those 191, 4 were in the town limits with the Crown Point address, 15 were in the town limits with the Dyer address, 141 were in the town limits with the St. John address, 1 was in the town of St. John with the Cedar Lake address, 10 were in the town, our contracted portion of St. John with St. John Township was 10, and then we had 20 mutual aids to other areas.
Okay, thanks.
Pat, did you want me to read the chief's report into the record?
Yes, I wasn't aware that.
Well, I mean, he had his report in here, so I'll just read
Okay.
it into the record if I may. So this is from the police department. From September 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2023, the members of the St. John Police Department logged 24,328 miles and responded to 599 law incidents. The investigation of these incidents led to 24 arrests, with 45 charges being filed. There were 158 traffic citations issued, along with 425 written warnings, for a total of 583 citations being issued during the month. Car thefts totaled $35,000. Other thefts totaled $11,401. Recovered property totaled $35,356. That concludes his report.
Thank you. Okay, old business, there is no old business. Now we come to new business. I need to, the Chief Leduc is asking me to add 2 items that were not on the agenda. The first item would be a resignation by one of his fire staff. I would need a motion to add that to the agenda.
Make a motion, we add it.
I'll second.
Okay, the motion was made by Ray Paradiso and seconded by Scott Sweats. All in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
And the second new item would be Kevin Toth, the Hanover Township trustee, for a 2024 contract with the fire department, which Chief Leduc will explain. I need a motion to get that approved.
I'll make a motion, we approve that.
Motion made by Ray, second.
Second.
Second by Scott. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? You might as well just jump into wherever you want.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's the Kevin show today, so I apologize. The first order of new business, I did send you guys 2 new general orders. Both are relatively new for the fire department and something that I'm not super excited about, but something that's realistic that we may have to face. The first one is General Order 7.38. It's the Rescue Task Force. Rescue Task Force is what we would use in form if we were to respond to an active shooter event. And then the second general order is 7.39, which is the ballistic vest and helmet use on just general calls if we would need them. I did have an opportunity to speak to President Moran, Chief Flores on this in detail a little bit and explain, because this is a new concept. But if you guys have no questions with them, I'm looking for favorable approval to add those into our general orders.
So we're doing, you want to do the RTF first and then the helmets and vests? or
If
you
that's
want-
your pleasure.
Okay. Okay, so Chief Leduc is looking for adoption of the Rescue Task Force General Order or the approval by the Safety Board. Would like a motion for that.
I'll make that motion.
I'll
Motion
second.
made by Scott and seconded by Ray. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And the next motion is the ballistic vest and helmet use. Like a favorable, or a motion for that, please.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Ray,
I'll second.
second by Scott. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen, for that. Next order of new business, and thank you for adding those last two things for me. I apologize. I did receive correspondence yesterday from Lieutenant Haney with a resignation effective immediately. So I'd like the board to accept that resignation.
I'll make a
confirm.
motion, we accept Lieutenant Haney's resignation.
I'll second.
Okay, the motion was made to accept Lieutenant Haney's resignation, was made by Ray, seconded by Scott. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
And then last but certainly not least, for a long time, it's been, where's trustee Toth there? So Kevin and I have been talking for over a year, more than likely, about the possibility of providing coverage to an area of Hanover Township. Area of Hanover Township that we're talking about is basically surrounded by an area that the St. John Fire Department already covers. It's the Emerald Crossing subdivision is probably the lion's share of that area that we're talking about. However, there's other unincorporated areas that we're talking about. When we were talking about this initially, Kevin, myself, both board member Scott Sweats and Ray Paradiso, we all sat down along with Deputy Chief Gillette to get a working idea of what we're looking for, talked about numbers of how many calls, if we could realistically do this, if it would harm our current constituents that we cover and everything else. And we came to the conclusion that we don't think that's the case. We are definitely closer than their current coverage at Cedar Lake Fire Department, especially for EMS. I'm sure some of these people could probably tell you a little bit of some of the struggles they had with insurance. I get calls all the time from insurance companies, hey, are you the closest fire department, and everything else. And I really think it'd be a benefit to these citizens in that area. So we're talking about 109th North, all the way to 101st, all the way to State Line. So basically it's basically Calumet, essentially, where we have right now. Calumet would be the boundary, then west to State Line, north from 109th to 101st. And the town does have some pockets in there. So we surround them as it is. Kevin, may I ask?
Yeah, could you come up?
Sure.
Yeah, the podium's good.
Good evening, gentlemen. How you doing? Yeah, we've had some good conversations about this, and the chief is right. We're basically talking 109 North, which from State Line to Klein Avenue, which probably 90% of it is already yours anyway. So basically, we're looking at the unincorporated areas of that portion, which I would say 95% of that is Emerald Crossing, the Emerald Crossing subdivision. And we've been talking this for a good year now, that the people there deserve that we get some closer coverage for them. I think on average it takes Cedar Lake somewhere about 12 to 15 minutes to get there. And that's just too much time to waste sometimes. So we're asking that you guys take over that area. If you guys could respond, we would contract with you the same way you guys contract with St. John Township for the areas of their unincorporated areas. We've already talked some numbers. I think you guys probably have read the contract already. You've had it. I know we've given you guys copies of it. We did get some suggestions from your attorney and our attorney. We changed some of the wording in the contract that you guys wanted also, so I think it's pretty much up to speed. But we would like to proceed if you guys would be willing to go along.
Chief, is the town council aware of the discussions?
So, Yes, our liaison is aware. Joe and I have been in contact with the town council. What we're looking for today would be a favorable recommendation from you guys to bring it to the town council study session, which I believe is Wednesday, Thursday. And then the town council meeting, which I don't have my phone in front of me, is the
Sorry,
25th.
A week from Wednesday?
Yeah, so I got my Wednesdays backwards. So then the week from Wednesday. So the council will probably ask, did I have favorable recommendation from you guys? I did also send this to Attorney Decker. Came back with some positive feedback with this. Just getting getting our homework done first before we bring it to the council. I think it's important that we get it to them in this month, so they have the month of November, December, because the coverage ideally would start January 1.
And if I remember, I was present when Kevin was here before, so there's really going to be no major impact to the fire department as far as coverage for that area, right?
No, so currently Emerald Crossing does have hydrants, correct? Provided by, their water is not provided by the same provider we have here. They use Aqua Illinois. So I'm confident for fire protection coverage, we will be able to use those hydrants. EMS, we are significantly closer. As soon as 93rd is open, we get to the subdivision just north of them in 4 to 5 minutes. When seconds matter, that's a big deal. So the contract amount, and this isn't against Kevin or anybody, it's we can't staff a whole nother ambulance or another truck, but it's going to allow us to bill when we go there, and the contractor amount will help us with the maintenance of that truck and the fuel. So the cost is going to be appropriate for the amount of service we're covering.
And Kevin, with the audience members here, any pushback at all, or is you mostly everybody in favor of this?
I would think if everybody here's in favor of it, I would imagine. I've met with both 2 or 3 homeowners associations about this. Everybody is, I think, on board. They want this.
You have a
Just
gentleman standing up in the back.
Probably the only, I live in Emerald Crossing.
Can you hang on just a second? We will probably, we'll allow public comment.
That's fine, if you want that now or later,
When we get ready to go to public comment.
no problem.
Is that appropriate? Okay. It is. All right.
Yeah, I think if I've shown you guys too, we've talked this over the numbers. We're looking at probably about 12 calls a month in that area, this new coverage area that we're talking about. So it's not a bunch of calls. We've discussed it in our meetings. The majority of them are auto accidents, and of course EMS calls. That's what what that area needs at this point. So, I mean, I don't think we're not talking about an overabundance of calls. We're not throwing, 40, 50 calls a month on you or something. It's been pretty steady, about 11 or 12 calls a month in that coverage area. Like I said, it's just everything north of 109th, which is, like I said, again, basically you guys cover all that already anyway because it's already incorporated. Mm-hmm. And I think outside of a few buildings on 101st, a few of the businesses there, the only others that's not covered basically is Emerald Crossing, and I think there's maybe a parcel over off of somewhere around the gas station on the east side.
Jason from IT has our map up, kind of showing, but Trustee Toth's right. So the majority of the businesses there are not in St. John coverage area. That would also be Cedar Lakes coverage area, where Jason's kind of going around. I believe that is Emerald Crossing. That is definitely not our coverage area. We're relatively close. We do have a mutual aid agreement with Lake Hills, but the mutual aid agreement and auto aid isn't on EMS. So while we're closer, if that's their call, they're going to go. Now, if they were to say, hey, we need help, we certainly would go. But this would make that we don't have to have that, hey, we need help. It would just become ours and be beneficial for the citizens there.
Okay.
And we're looking for a favorable too from you guys because we need to get this thing in place and we need to get the dispatch areas changed and stuff. I've already been in contact with Crown Point with the dispatch center and stuff about them changing over because currently, you guys, I think you understand the mess of the 2 dispatch centers. It's kind of sometimes it gets to be confusing, but if we switch over to you guys, that area will go over to county dispatch instead of Southcom. So we need to get that set up too, and then I need to also notify the businesses there because they're going to be dialing into you guys instead of dialing into Southcom. So just if, we're just trying to get this thing moving forward so we can hopefully get it in place by the first of the year.
Well, personally, it sounds like a no-brainer to me, so, and I remember from your past presentation, it seemed, like a pretty good idea, so I still can't believe Cedar Lake was servicing your area. I just couldn't fathom that, but, I'd be willing to, let's entertain a motion
I'll
for a
make-
favorable recommendation of this contract with the Hanover Township and for 2024 with the fire department.
I'll make a motion that we have a favorable motion to the board,
Recommendation.
recommendation adopting the Hanover Township area in our fire district.
I'll second that.
A motion made by Ray Paradiso and seconded by Scott Swets. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The motion carries.
Kevin, you'll be at the meeting Thursday then?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Very good.
Is it 7 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'll be there. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, that concludes business, and now we will switch to public comment. When you come up, do you want to make a comment? You need to come up and state your name and address, please.
Sharon Dirks, I'm in Emerald Crossing at 14941 West 102nd Avenue. I and several others here are in the cottages section of Emerald Crossing. A couple weeks ago or last week, we received a letter from Peter Byland about this meeting. Never have I heard anything about any of this, and how some of you are talking that you've met previously with Kevin Toth. I don't know, Kevin, are you from Emerald Crossing then?
No, I'm Hanover Township trustee.
Hanover, okay, so you're presenting this for the whole subdivision?
I do the contracts for the fire and EMS services for the unincorporated areas of Hanover.
Okay, I just wondered, why haven't we heard about this? Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to be for it, it's just,
I've talked to your homeowners, to your HOA representatives, we've been talking about this for quite a while now, so,
okay, and can you give me a name?
I'm sorry.
Can you give me a name for the cottages who you've talked to?
I've only spoken with Sarah and with Larry.
Okay, that's probably why we haven't heard.
We
because-
represent the villas. We're the parent villas, we are not the cottages.
Right, so
I
what
did
I'm saying is the
contact- I did
cottages
contact
hasn't heard
Peter.
this.
But you have a separate agreement.
I know I am.
Peter Byron.
Peter Byland
Byron, in fact, he's the one that gave me the names, but those are the only names that I got. So,
from Peter,
yeah. So
because
those
it's
are the-
Brian, what's his last name? Can't remember.
Anyway, but yeah, that's,
Okay, so can we get what you're presenting for us? Because we don't have what you're presenting.
not all we're presenting is basically just changing your provider from Cedar Lake to St. John. This is, we're going from the Cedar Lake Fire Department to cover your area to St. John.
Okay, so will that cost us any more than if it would have been through Cedar Lake?
No.
Tax-wise and,
No.
There, if I may I, there's no tax that will be coming from Kevin, and the Hanover Township will still collect taxes. What Kevin's doing, he's contracting with the town of St. John and the fire department to provide you services. What does change is not Kevin, not me. We will respond, and we will, instead of getting a bill from Cedar Lake EMS, they'll get a bill from us. I can't tell you honestly what the prices are if there's a difference between the two. I could say all the agencies talk, and we try to keep our billing the same for the most part. So I don't want to be up here in line and say, hey, there's not a change, but there may be a small change on the amount of services that we charge.
okay, so I guess I would like to present that Brian Mastrati, he's supposed to be our president, but we only have one person on the board. So he's not even here, so, I like communication, and I know other people do too. So even though I'm not a paired villa, I'm not a single resident, I'm the cottages. We're three entities. So
Pat, if I
I
may.
guess I'm just saying there's been no communication on our end.
Pat, if I may. President Moran,
What?
may I?
You want to address that, what she just
May
said?
I?
Yes.
So as the way the town and the fire department looks at this, Trustee Toth is responsible of contracting services. I was unaware. I know there's different buildings there. Okay, I'm not ignorant of that. I didn't know that there was different POAs. My job as the fire chief and a representative of St. John is to work these things out. It wasn't a slight that we didn't want to communicate with you guys. I didn't know that. We just want to offer the best service to the people of that area. We are
Right.
closer, and I'm not saying, and I have friends at Cedar Lake, we work well at Cedar Lake. One thing about the fire departments in the area, we get along and we're friends, because all our equipment's expensive. We can't have full-time crazy staff from out places. So I apologize if it looks that we, the town of St. John, and the fire departments didn't talk to you. It wasn't anything malicious. And again, Kevin is,
No, I apologize too, but there was nothing meant by it, but to put it in better terms, I guess this might not even sound better, but I have the sole responsibility to provide the best protection that I can for you
Right,
guys.
and it has been bad. I
Yeah,
do know
and
that. I do.
we've been discussing this for going on over 2 years already,
Yeah.
about trying to get this done.
Yeah, we were very disappointed that the new building didn't come closer to us.
Yeah,
That was a while ago.
Yeah, believe me, we were.
That was a while
but
ago.
we don't have a whole lot of control over that because we're Hanover Township, we're not.
Right,
Cedar Lake.
and the vote went
And that's a
down. so.
complete separate entity. And
Yeah.
all we're trying to do, and again, it's my responsibility to provide the best and closest coverage that I can for you guys.
I think so.
Believe me, I'm doing the best I can for you guys. I wouldn't have changed this for nothing on the world. I want this. I was a fireman myself for 30 years in East Chicago, so I understand the fire service, I understand about the run times and all that, so we worked this through, and I think this is what's gonna be best for you guys, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah,
So, but yeah, I apologize if you didn't get the messages, but we were
Yeah.
trying. I thought I was basically in contact with everybody that I needed to be, and I
Yeah.
apologize, but,
yeah.
yeah, but this will be really
Okay.
good for you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I just have a question.
Could I get your name, sir?
Yeah, my name is Frank Swike. I reside
Last
in the cottages. The spelling on last name is Swiech,
Okay.
Frank. And I reside at 14933 West 102nd Avenue. And my question is simply one for information, and that is, from the standpoint of safety, is this the complete package, fire, police as well?
Not police, no.
Not
Just
police,
fire.
okay. So it's just fire. And
Yes, sir.
EMT,
Paramedic.
Full fire service.
Everything the fire service offers.
okay. That was my question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John Borsma, address 15634 West 103rd Lane in Emerald Crossing. Last name is Boersma.
Okay.
Just to reiterate from Mrs. Dirks, just make sure I got that right. Basically, as a homeowner there, all we did was get something from Peter Byline, our management company, that said, attend this meeting, it's good for you. That was it. And I think all of us are probably in favor of having better service, whether it be fire, EMT. We are, however, unincorporated Lake County. We knew that when we bought our houses. So I do understand that there was going to be some limited services. My biggest question is cost and how those costs are going to move down the road. If it's reciprocal, whether one bills versus the other bills, and they basically they come out of two different pockets, which is really our pockets as a taxpayer, that I understand that. If it's reciprocal, that's great. My biggest concern is that this is the first step to get fully annexed into St. John. That is my concern. So it's one thing to have services and have reciprocal amongst departments. I really enjoy that fact. I was served 10 years ago by Hanover. Their response is good. They treated me well. But my concern is this just a step towards getting annexed into St. John, because I'm sorry, I believe St. John does have their eye on us and the businesses around us. That's my concern.
Okay.
So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
I don't want to get into too much about, if there's an agenda.
All this is about fire EMS contract for your area, okay? Just let you guys know that.
Anybody else? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make that motion.
Motion by Scott Swett and seconded by Ray Paradiso. All in favor, say aye.